Hey everyone, it's Jason Andrews here at Spotlight Sound Studio, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the microphones that I use. We can start over here. I have a pair of Neumann U87s. These are great microphones. They're large diaphragm condensers. They have 3 different polar patterns, a high-pass filter, and a pad, so you can dial the sound in if you need to. This is a matched pair of microphones, meaning that they're electronically matched by the manufacturer. A lot of people think that microphones that have consecutive serial numbers are matched, and that's not true. They need to be electronically matched, and these are. So they work great for overheads, stereo room microphones, acoustic guitars, things like that, and I use them for that. Next to it is the Shure Sm7. This is a great microphone for aggressive vocals. It was originally intended for broadcast purposes, but it has become quite a famous vocal tracking microphone for music production and screaming, things like that. Also use it on hi-hats, electric guitars, things like that. It's a great mic. Next to it is the only ribbon microphone that I have. It's the Royer R121. Ribbon mics are great. They have a unique sound. They're naturally in a figure 8 pattern, meaning they pick up behind just as well as the front. And they kind of have a natural roll off of the high frequencies, so they sound warm or vintage, and I like it for that. I've recorded an album before where that was the only microphone that we used because I wanted it to sound real earthy, and we achieved that, and I like that microphone for that. Next to it, and kind of above it, is the AKG. It's the D112. This microphone is a large diaphragm dynamic microphone, and I use it for bass drum, bass guitar. I've used it for guitars before, but mostly bass instruments. It's kind of what it was designed for, and it sounds great when you put it on a bass drum. You don't need a whole lot of EQ; it just sort of comes up right, and so it's a nice mic. Next to it, also in the AKG family, is the AKG 414. These are great mics. It's a pair here that I have. They have 5 different polar patterns, 4-way high-pass filter, and 4-way pad, or 4 different settings for the pad. So you can really dial these in. There's a lot of different settings, and they're great for that. I use these for stereo room mics, overheads if need be, and they're a good substitute second to the Neumann U87s. I would almost always rather use the U87s than the 414s here, but these are still great microphones. Next to it is the Oktava. I don't know the model on it. It's actually just a bunch of numbers, kind of confusing. And I don't use it a whole lot. I've had this microphone for a long time, and every now and again I use it if I need an extra small diaphragm condenser mic. Next to it is a pair of Neumann KM184s. This is a pair of small diaphragm condenser microphones by Neumann, and these are great. Love these mics. I use them on acoustic guitar. I use them on hi-hats, rides, cymbals. Really clean sound. I've even used them for overheads, and some prefer that. It really just depends on the style of music and a lot of different factors. But they're great mics. Next to it, Shure Beta 56A. It's a dynamic microphone, and I really like how compact this microphone is, in that you hook the XLR kind of into the mount on the back side of it. So if I'm recording drums and I have a drummer that has their hi-hats really close over their snare, and it's hard to get a larger microphone like these SM57s in there with the XLR plugged in and everything, this microphone really does a good job of just kind of sneaking in there. So that's usually what I use that for. Next to it is a pair of SM58s, the classic vocal microphone that everybody uses live. And that's what I use it for, recording vocals, a lot of scratch vocals. I've even done some lead vocals with it before if the application was right, but that's kind of rare. Mostly I just use it for scratch vocals. I got a pair next to that of the Sennheiser MD421s. This is a broadcast microphone. That was its original intent, but has become famous for recording toms on a drum set. And I can see why. It's a great sound. Great sounding on toms. I feel like it's perfectly matched You really don't have to do a whole lot of EQ, and it just sounds like how you expect toms to be recorded. And it's got a high pass filter on it, which I rarely use. Next to it is the flagship microphone of this studio, the Tube Neumann M149. This thing is a beast. It's the only tube microphone that I have, and I love this thing for tracking vocals, room mic, acoustic guitar, really anything. It has a lot of great features. I mean, the main feature is just that it sounds incredible and that it's a tube microphone, but it has a 7-way polar pattern and a 7-way high-pass filter, so you can really dial that in, and I'm just amazed every time I use that. And over here is 5 SM57s. Dynamic microphone I use for acoustic guitars. I'm sorry, I don't use this for acoustic guitars. I have, but I usually use it for electric guitars, is what I meant to say. Snare drum, top and bottom. I've used it on toms some, and it's great. I feel like it's kind of the perfect snare drum microphone and an electric guitar. It really gets the job done. But that is the majority of the microphones that I use here at the studio, and I love all of them for different reasons. Thanks for checking it out.